Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today we got our first look at the April update, and right here you can see the other thing that is coming very soon, the Interstellar Initiatives. Now we'll talk about those first. Essentially what's going to happen is Frontier are going to be using the tools that they've created over the recent few months and the recent year to create new in-game events. Basically then, these are going to be community-based campaigns curated by the developers. The first one here, which will begin on the 29th of April, will focus on the Guardians and Guardian technology. Here, players will be set the task to go out and collect Guardian artifacts and Guardian relics for a new corporation called the Zenday Partners. This part of it then does sound very much like a community goal. You have to basically go out and collect things and return them, but by all accounts, Frontier is saying that there is more to it. There will be competing factions or a competing corporation that will be working against the Zenday interests. Further, the ultimate outcome of the Interstellar Initiative will have an impact on the game, sometimes unlocking new modules, otherwise sometimes impacting other areas of the game, such as a faction, a star system, or maybe even the superpowers themselves. So the Interstellar Initiatives are going to be pretty important because basically they're going to be the content that hopefully keep players engaged up until the end or the later half of 2020 when the new big update launches. Whether it's going to be enough though, only time will tell. It's still very early and unfortunately Frontier really still haven't given us much information on just how the Interstellar Initiatives are going to work in terms of gameplay. But there's certainly some potential there, and we'll find out more on the 29th of April. For the rest of the April update, coming on the 23rd of April, this is, as I said earlier, focused on the new player experience. And right up front, it starts with a brand new menu for the game. So something very simple here, but as with the rest of the update, it's all about getting players or new players better engaged in the game and basically giving them more guidance to how things work. So the new screen here, you can see in the backdrop, you do have your ship. This is the currently selected ship, will form a part of your backdrop. The menus themselves have been improved a little bit, much more sleeker here. This is the options menu and it gives you a bit more of a description of what is actually going on. But when you drop into them, everything does look pretty much the same as it does right now. So no search field here for options, unfortunately. Maybe that's something for a later time. Now when you start a new game, if you're starting a new character, there's some better instructions here, giving you a bit more of an indication as to what's going on. Once you've entered your commander name, you'll be presented with the package screen. Now the packages here are for people who do have packages. Some of them will be coming from Kickstarter. Others, like the examples here, are development options, so do ignore the 100 million credit starting bonuses. This isn't going to be what most players will actually see. Most players will just get the current single Sidewinder starter ship. Now you can also name your ship here and give it the ID. That also is something new. Once you come to the next screen, you can choose your starting location. Dromi is a new beginner zone. LHS 3447 is the currently established zone. Now Dromi is more than just one beginner starter system. It is actually a district or a network of Pilot Federation controlled systems which are permit locked, and no other players will be able to access these. You'll be able to stay in this district until your first elite ranking, so from harmless up until mostly harmless. You'll also, if you do leave the district at any time, if you dock at a station outside the district, you won't then be able to return back here again. In short, it's an area for starting players with simplified missions and less potential for things to go wrong. Once you're logged into the game, you'll be able to access the training missions from the right-hand menu. These have been moved from outside the game in the main menu into the cockpit themselves. When you select them, you'll go into a simulation of the training simulation or whatever else you choose here, and you will effectively leave the ship and appear in the training menus. You can return back at any time. It's also worth pointing out that you won't be able to use these training simulations in order to combat log. Now something else that's available from within your ship is the Pilot's Handbook. This is basically a manual for many aspects of the game. It's laid out and presented in the same form as a codex, so essentially it should be fairly intuitive and a good way to find the basics of what to do in the game. A good thing then if you're a brand new player and wondering how to do things, how to go pirating, how to go mining or whatever else. The new zone also comes with a new beginner's mission. You can access this through the top comms panel, whereby you will be able to begin this mission and it will guide you through the basics of the game, essentially sending you on a trading mission from one system to the next. And this brings us on to the trading screen, which has seen some improvements. Both the buy and sell screen, for example, have been separated out, and we've also got some new filters here. Now, when you select a commodity, you'll be able to see the prices in local systems, and you'll instantly, at a glance, be able to tell how much profit you can make on any single item. And you can see that information here on the right-hand side of the screen. Some of this information is also available on the Galaxy map, along with the options that you can perform with it, thereby making things a bit more accessible. You can also get an additional breakdown of commodity-based information by selecting the commodity within your cargo hold. This will give you additional information here, including the types of markets that purchase the commodity, as well as links to the Galaxy map. Here we can see the filters in action. You can filter pretty much anything that you want, and here we have compare markets, so we can compare to nearby systems or other systems that we've actually visited. One other change here is that both buying and selling bring additional pop-up menus on the screen, giving you a little bit more flexibility and control here by the looks of things. Now, another change here, I suppose is going to be good for new players and certainly for some long-term players, is the new advanced docking computer. You can see the launch menu now says auto launch rather than launch. This is an optional feature, you don't have to use it, but if you do want to use it, then your ship will automatically undock. It will leave the station, travelling through the docking hatch, and making things that much more easier for you. Now, I have noticed a number of people complaining about this, basically saying it's making the game too easy, it's making the game suitable for kids. To that, I just say that Elite has been too difficult for players over the years. Players have logged into the game and after a few minutes logged out to never return, and that's not good or healthy for the game. Additionally, all these modules and features or assistance features are optional, so it's really not a problem. Now, on the left-hand panel, you'll notice that there's new icons here. The icons basically tell you all of the activities that are available in any given system. There's a legend available for this, I believe, at the bottom of the Galaxy map. I'm not sure if it's here in the nav screen as well. At least I can't see it or didn't notice it during this presentation. One really nice feature here is that you can now select stations and star systems or planets from the nav panel, and you'll get a summary about the thing that you've actually selected, as well as some quick keys to engage or interact with said location. Also, these icons will give you a threat indicator. If the area is deemed a little bit too dangerous for your currently selected ship and rank, it will give you a red alert triangle. And this will basically indicate to you as a new player whether or not you should attempt the zone. You can, of course, jump in and try it regardless, but it may be a little bit too dangerous. Now, hyperspace exits. This is something that's changed back and forth over the years. Quite often, people forget to zero their throttle and find themselves crashing into the local stars. A new option here then is the ability to automatically zero the throttle, and this is an option. You can get it from the ship's panel here, and you can enable it or disable it. Talking of assist features then, this brings us quite nicely onto the Supercruise Assist. You can access this. One way of accessing this at least is through the nav panel. When you select a destination, you're about to choose the Supercruise Assist option. Now, this is not a full-on autopilot. I wish it was. Some people, again, are not happy about it, but I believe those people are salty elitists. For the rest of the world, these are entirely optional features. You can either use them or not use them to suit your tastes. Now, when you engage the Supercruise Assist, you still have to point your ship towards the destination, and if you get interdicted or if something gets in your way, the Supercruise Assist will not help you. It won't pilot the ship for you. What it will do, just so long as you have got your ship reasonably aligned to the target, is to make sure that your ship is correctly and fully aligned, and it will control the throttle for you to make sure it's already and always correctly used. Now, there's two additional features here to the Supercruise Assist. One is if you're approaching a planet, it will automatically put you into orbit around that planet, which personally I think is a fantastic feature and is probably going to be very, very good for video making. Although no word, I don't think, as to how well this works or if it actually works when using the external camera. The other feature of Supercruise Assist is that when approaching stations, it will automatically drop you out of Supercruise when you reach the correct distance. Now, it does seem that Super Cruise Assist is generally slower than it would be if you're using it manually. If you're using it manually, you're about to choose the optimal path as well as the optimal speed. Super Cruise Assist doesn't really do that, so it's likely, for most people, it's going to be a fair bit slower. Now, there is some concerns about botting regarding all this. Personally, I don't know to what extent that is going to make botting easier. Botting is already a thing within Elite Dangerous, and I know it has caused, or allegedly, from what I've heard from people, it has caused some problems with both the background simulation as well as power play. I don't think really this is going to make a huge amount of difference, because if bots are going to be used, they are going to be used. But Frontier have said they are actively monitoring bots and that they do ban those sorts of things. Meanwhile, though, I know there's a number of reports out there from players who say Frontier don't really effectively deal with this, so very, very hard to make any judgment or comment on that either way, really. But in terms of a feature, I think Super Cruise Assist as well as the Advanced Docking Computer are going to certainly have their uses, and pretty nice additions, especially for brand new players. Overall, I think this is a nice update again for new players, as well as a nice few quality of life updates for experienced players. Of course, anyone expecting vast amounts of content, they're going to be disappointed, because that's not really what we've got here. But also, I do think after Frontier saying that this update was going to be very small, it was going to be minor, I do generally speaking feel as though it's a bit bigger than I was personally expecting. But whether these updates are going to be enough to tide us over until the later half of 2020 and the next era of Elite Dangerous really is anyone's guess. Frontier have said that these updates are going to be spaced between 3 to 4 months apart, so we can expect one a little later in the year. The next update again is going to be focused on the new player experience, but no word yet on what the update after that is going to be focused on. Meanwhile, there's the Interstellar Initiative to look forward to. Hopefully, fingers crossed, those are going to be pretty decent. Again, just a reminder, the first one of those is going to begin on the 29th of April. This update itself, the April update, is arriving on the 23rd of April. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.